And so taking the example of my manuscript, if you go a little bit further away from fear into dread, maybe I would dread that they're going to cancel my contract and I'm going to wind up living in obscurity. Having a story about someone living in obscurity, having a story about someone who touched on fame and now is living in obscurity, there are lots and lots of stories about that. And that's an interesting story, right? Because you're looking at something that could have happened and what actually happened. And that what actually happened was the dread that that character had the entire time. And then on the flip side, the dream side would be, maybe I'll get my manuscript in and I'll get reviewed in the New York Times and become a runaway bestseller. And following the dream of that runaway success is also an interesting story, because success can lead in all sorts of different paths. So when you're looking at your characters, you want to think about how can you really push the boundaries of what they dream of and what they dread, and then look at your story and think, what is happening in that story that either stirs that dread, makes the character actually feel the dread of what they're dreading, or thwarts a dream, gets in the way of a dream. So you might have, in my boring little story about selling my novel, you might have a character who gets a review in the New York Times. That's a dream come true, right? And that publicity leads to something like uncovers a murder in their past or something. Like that famous author has killed, I did not kill someone in the past, but that famous author has killed someone in the past, and all that publicity leads to that being exposed. So now you're thwarting that dream with your plot points. So that's the basic motivational continuum.